Just kidding. Order the June 25th, 2025 Apex Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Advisory Commission meeting. As always, we always start our meeting with a moment of invocation. If you would, bow your heads. Thank you. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up, we will have the approval of the May 28th, 2025 meeting minutes. Those meeting minutes are always sent to us in advance for review. If everyone's okay with those, do we have?
Good. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we will have the executive report and projects and program report.
So for this, I'm gonna call up Angela first. We have quite a few updates on projects, so she will give those updates.
All 15 of them.
Hour-long meeting tonight, huh?
No. Yes, your last one will be the longest. I can stand for a really long time. No. Good evening. So let's give you an update. On June 17th, our town council held a work session and provided us with direction on two projects. One is the Environmental Education Center. They were presented with some options and came back to us at that original meeting with some direction to find different alternatives and to evaluate some other things about a second floor or moving more staff over there. And they ultimately decided that they would go with the one-story option. And so that's very consistent with our original plan for that project and property. And so that's what they're tasking us to move forward with. They also looked at Pleasant Park, the next phase, finishing baseball, softball, and the great open lawn and shelter. And there had been some discussion about parking concerns, so a parking study was completed, and they determined that they would want us to go forward with the original four-field design, with one of the fields being considered to be extended to a 400-foot center line field, and no additional or removal of field for parking. So we're moving forward with those two projects at their direction. We anticipate the land dedication fee study being contracted by council in August. We've been working on that contract with Benish and hope that we'll have everything in order to go forward at that point, with the hopes that it should be adopted to move with the next fiscal year budget starting in summer of 26. The bike park at Hunter Street was awarded last night, so we anticipate kicking off our first design build contract with Nature Trails in the coming months. West Street, you should have gotten or seen an attachment to your items. Looks like this. This was the results of our survey and public input event, and I think it's pretty consistent with what we've heard from the community, and now we have direction of sort of what the final plan should incorporate. So Timmons Group is working on that currently. Let's see, we have 5 greenways that we're getting ready to start projects on. They will all be contracted under an on-call service. We selected 6 firms for the next 4 years to do work. We have 5 projects, and so we've assigned 5 of the firms work to do, and that includes Middle Creek Greenway from Jesse Drive to 1010. That will all be side path, but will be a part of the Middle Creek Greenway corridor. Beaver Creek Greenway, we're going to work in JC Park to get ready to go under 55 when 55 is widened by NCDOT in the future. And we will design the section to go from where the current Beaver Creek Greenway is ending in the nature park. We're going to go all the way to the western property line within the park. So that's 2 sections of Beaver Creek that will be designed. We're doing a Haddon Hall feasibility study from Blackburn to the Peakway in an existing greenway corridor that has lots of stream and utility conflict, so we're going to look at that and see what the viability is and the cost impact of a project in that corridor. And then Reedy Branch to complete from Kelly Road to Goliath Lane in Sweetwater, which will complete that trail from Kelly Road all the way to the ATT. Let's see what else. We've advertised for RFQ for Kelly Road Park, the Kidstown Playground renovation, and shelter renovation. If you all know, that was a 1999 community-built playground, and so we're hoping to bring back and engage some of the original Kidstown partners and talk to our newest residents about what they see for that park in the future. During the master plan, we had images of alternatives that were presented, and funny enough, at the 3 big events we held, each one of the concepts got the most support. So we didn't see a really clear direction for the future. So we'll definitely be doing some engagement to figure out what to do, because there's, it is a style of what it is, and we've just got to figure out what's the best course for that one. And then the community park front playground, we're working to address some accessibility issues all the way from the parking lot back to the playground, and then renovating that playground. And with the new street rinks and their popularity, and the fact that we have the sled hockey programs in partnership with the Hurricanes, we thought this was a good opportunity to really create a inclusive play space, especially for children with mobility disabilities. So, and fixing the ADA access points gives us some opportunity to do some really, I think, special things there. And last but not least is Wimberley Road. I anticipate that we should have that master plan for that park advertised in a month, and because we're trying to stagger all of these to get started, and that is for us to get a plan in place so that we're ready to give some more concrete numbers to a potential bond referendum that the council has proposed potentially for the fall of 2027. So I know there's one question you want to answer, not right now, but in the future, is which one of these projects do you want to help us on? Because we'll be looking for stakeholder and public engagement opportunities. So if you have any of these projects that are calling to you, let us know, so that when we get those lists put together, we can grab some of our members to be involved with the planning process. Did I miss anything?
Don't answer now.
Amendment? Can you talk about that?
Oh, no. So last night we had 4 items on the consent agenda at council. We had to extend the Middle Creek contract for completion of phase 1 of that trail to the south. We're still waiting on the Sunset Hills lift station, pump station to be relocated. And we proof-rolled the area that is supposed to hold the greenway, but we still have a parking lot and trailhead and all of that to do. So we extended that contract, and we're still targeting our October 18th Great Trail State grand opening there. So keep that on your calendars, because that will be our big event for that celebration of opening that trail. Beaver Creek, we had a water line that was lost, and so we had to do some extra unique things to find it, but that we had a contract amendment for that. We finalized the street hockey rink final payouts and awarded the bike park contract. So, yes.
2 questions. One is on the bike park date that you think that would be complete, the actual construction complete.
Oh.
That's, rough timeline.
I don't know, just in that it's design build, and we've not done that before, so we won't necessarily go through that process of planning and then bidding, so it could go faster, but we've never built a facility like this before, so I'm a little hesitant to know exactly what I think the timeline will be through getting approvals, like construction drawings and the sort of environmental stuff we have to do if we're disturbing land, because we're going to potentially leave it as exposed, compacted dirt. And so I think there's some some things about that timing.
Still
But-
near a bit. Okay, and the other one was Pleasant Park, so being this my last meeting, and I've been harping on the cross-country course for years. Jeff probably knew where I was going with that one. Sounds like that land is still preserved for that.
Yes.
And the dirt is being removed. Is that going to be something that gets put in before the baseball or during the baseball, or how does that get done? Do we know that yet?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
We won't know until construction starts and kind of phasing out goes with
But it's
how
still
that-
part of the plan,
It's
though.
still part of the plan.
Yes.
So,
I had a question
Go
about
ahead.
Pleasant Park. Just in phase 2 and building out the softball and baseball fields, and knowing that the request was to do a parking study, and that was born of maybe parking capacity issues, or that tied to like circulation, and if we're having any issues with capacity, but we're moving forward with developing all the fields and not having more parking. Do we have a solution for kind of how to
It's
add
gonna
more
have to boil
parking?
down to programming and how we program the space.
So it's a matter of
It's
timing.
never- yeah, it really is. Like the park itself was never like constructed to run baseball and multi-purpose fields at the same time.
Mhm.
That was never a thought that we were going to run tournaments at both sites, completely filling every field. So, from a programming perspective, we'll just have to take our time and figuring that out and figuring out exactly what we can
Staging,
do and
right.
what we can't do. And we'll probably start requiring people who do rent the facility out for tournaments to do a parking service as well, just to guide people, because a lot of people want to park on curbs, tree islands, and different things, which we don't like. And there are parking spaces elsewhere. They just are not willing to take the walk, and they want it right there in the same vicinity. So there are a lot of different things, but mainly programming is going to have to control the parking situation.
to go along with that, I want to be on record saying, I understand there was a discussion with council about overflow parking on the start of the cross-country track, Tom. I know that the Courage Field cross-country track starts on the overflow parking for the soccer facility. I'd like council to rethink taking the start of the cross-country facility and making it an overflow parking facility. I know Apex doesn't, quote, allow non-paid parking areas, but as a gated for tournaments or stuff, I think it's a huge benefit to the town not to have to shut down the multi-use field when you have a baseball tournament going on, and vice versa. So I'd really like to go on record having council or somebody look at that further. So Angela, I got a couple of questions for you. The environmental, and I'll be quick, I promise. The environmental building, did council select the same building elevation that we said that's what we want to see? I know they went with 1 story, but I thought we picked and said we like elevation A or B or C. Do you know if council did the same thing?
They were only shown one of them. I mean, it was like the 1 story or a full 2-story option.
Okay, so the building
So-
elevation hasn't been set yet.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The Haddon Hall Greenway,
Yes.
close to home, literally in the neighborhood. You're talking about the existing Greenway from Blackburn back towards 55, or are you talking about a new corridor?
A new corridor going from Blackburn towards Magnolia.
Towards Britley,
Yes.
Britley Way, through the backyards
Through
of
the
people that
backyards.
don't have Greenway easements in there, and that's,
There are greenway easements the entire length.
but they're on the creek, I think was the
There,
issue, right?
the creek, and you have sewer and utility corridors.
I mean, I'd love to see it happen. I know that it was a conversation in 2013 when John was still here, and it's now a conversation 12 years later, so.
We've had like resident requests. So when we did our annual priority calculations, it was one that continued to rise up as being one we should study.
I agree with it, but I also don't own property that would have to find a way to get a greenway through there, and some of those property owners are gonna be really up in arms.
And part of the scope for the firm doing the feasibility study is to hold an event with the community
Okay.
and show them.
I mean, it's easy for me to say yes because it's not my backyard. It's easy.
Explain.
My wife would love it because she would continue using the trail in the shade. I know she'd love it, but again, it's not our backyard, so
Right.
I just want to make sure it's handled with kid gloves because those people will be
It's a
upset.
definite change in an area that's been established.
And
but
the last one is Wimberley Road Park. Do you know if the town is going to be looking for an active or a passive facility? Is it going to be soccer fields programmed, or do you think it's going to be like walking trails and
Was that
So
gonna come about through a public engagement process?
Right.
the details of that would be part of the public engagement process. Our capital projects request included a 70,000 square foot recreation center and active and passive recreation, because there are some significant, we bought I think it was called the Williams Tract. It was 9 acres at the north end, right along White Oak Creek. And in a study done by Wildlands as a part of a Cary Apex joint project, they found that the highest quality grade wetlands of the entire 450 acres was on that tract.
Of course.
So we're going to do what we can. We have some unique things like a old driveway access that crosses FEMA and Army Corps and utility corridors that gets to stay in place, which could be a non-paved trail access that gets you very close. Well, it gets you to Wimberley Road, but close to the ATT and back to that 9 acres. And so we see an opportunity to do some environmental education and some more passive things in that space, or potentially another opportunity to do a unpaved running loop somehow tied to that. So I think you're going to see a combination of all those things. The exact components, is it pickleball, is it cricket, is it soccer, is it a playground, will come out of the public engagement.
Just curious. I've heard different people say different, like what they want out there. So I was just curious. So thank you.
And we have the concept from the master plan that was done, where they showed us 2 options of, if they took the highest prioritized amenities and features in the master plan, what could fit out there. So we kind of have an initial starting point of what was requested during the master plan process that we can carry as the starting point for this. So, including the large recreation center. Any other questions?
I'll jump in on my stuff then. Thank you, Angela. So for me, June Pride Fest went really well. Both festivals on campus. We're preparing for July 3rd and the July 4th events. We are adding a drone show to just before the fireworks event this year. So that'll be a pretty cool feature to add. We just found out today that Tunstall House is likely notice to proceed on construction of Tunstall will be August 15th. It will have huge impacts on senior center parking. So the backside of the senior center parking area will be affected from August 15th through at least potentially June 1st of 26.
Construction staging?
Mary Lee needs to get that out there, all the members.
And we just found out today, so I had informed Allie, and I'm sure they're working on something to get out to the seniors. So, and I had asked her to do that with the seniors as well as all of the instructors, and so again, that will have pretty large impacts on us. So, the very next thing I'm going to do is talk about appreciation. So we've got 3 members that are rolling out. Jeff, Tom, Matt. I just wanted to express my appreciation as the director of Parks and Rec, not just for our department, but for the town of Apex. I know you've been here 16 years, right? I forget how long have you been? 14 years. Assisting not only Parks and Rec with all of our projects and votes on different things with Angela's project pieces and greenways and everything else that comes along with it. One of the big things for me, I've been in this seat for 4 years, and y'all just welcomed me. I mean, I followed up John Brown, 35-year John Brown, who basically started the department, and you welcomed me, and I appreciate that. So I wanted to tell you that.
It was pretty easy to welcome him. I'm just saying. So,
But no, like I know it was a big change, right? And y'all just, I mean, everybody on the board pretty much just grabbed me and said, "Let's go." So and I've really enjoyed working with all of you. Yeah. So there you
But
go.
especially Tom.
Everybody. So I just wanted to express that. And then on that note, I am gonna call up Ashley to touch base on some of the appointments and things like that, so everybody's aware of how that went about.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Ashley Gentry, Deputy Town Clerk. So first I want to take a few moments to provide some context on regarding the board appointment process and what was approved last night. So back in May, I was here. I mentioned that we would follow up with the nominees for appointments and reappointments, which would be bringing back to you guys, right? So, and that didn't happen. So I want to explain why that didn't happen. So there were a number of moving parts that was going on behind the scenes between after May, June, and then here we are almost in July. So our deadline was July 1st, so we did not have time to come back before you to bring all the nominations, or neither did we all boards. So that left us with a deadline for July 1st to getting all this in, July 1st, for council to approve before the summer break. So that is what happened. Also as well, some board members did express maybe revising the nomination process, right, when we bring that to you. And so that is what we're doing. We're also revising that nomination process before we start back again. I know, Lisa, you had asked, me to email you the new process, and I had not done that because we are revising that. So don't think I have not forgot about you. So once we know more, I will bring that back to you and explain all that in detail. So thank you for working with me. I appreciate it. I could have sent you an email regarding all that, and I did not. So that is a lesson learned on my part. So I appreciate and I apologize on that. So where we're going to now is what happened last night at the town council meeting. So we do have 4 positions that are expiring on this board. So that's Tom, we have Daryl, we have Matt, and we have Jeff. Matt is not expiring.
Technically, he's not expiring. You're resigning because you're going to the
Well,
You can only be on one board. So.
right, but he's not expiring. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got you.
I apologize. I wanted to make sure. I didn't think he was.
No, so, all right, so 4 positions, but Tom's not expiring, let's just clear that up. He's being appointed to the Cultural Arts Advisory Board, which is now a standalone board. So, so we will have a new board member who will fill Tom's partial seat. So the term and seat will go with the new member. Daryl has been, okay, so it's Daryl, Matt, and Jeff. So then the appointments were made last night were Daryl to be reappointed for a 2-year term, ending June 30th, 2027. We have a new appointee. His name is Robert Barber. He will be filling in for Tom's seat. So this will be your partial term, Robert Barber. So his term will end June 30th of 2026. Then we have Johnny Strickland, who is going to be a new appointee with a 2-year term expiring June 30th, 27. And a new appointee, Nick Vosberg, and who will expire June 30th of 27. Something new also is we now have a youth representative that will be joining along with you as well. This will be a non-voting position. So, and this person will be starting in August and expiring June 30th, 2026. So the youth positions are 1-year terms only for that. For our leadership roles,
that was approved last night. So the mayor appointed Daryl Lanier as chair, and council confirmed that. And the mayor also appointed Michael Cantors as vice chair. This is all for fiscal year 25-26. So all this will expire June 30th, 2026. Okay? So next step after that. So we will be providing orientation for our new members and returning members. And so that will take place in July. So appointees, any appointees and also reappointments will receive an email to confirm their appointment and inviting to choose between the 2 orientation dates that I send out. So that is going to be what's happening next. With that said, is there any questions?
Yeah, are we gonna get any kind of bio information on the new appointees, just so we have an understanding of like what their knowledge and like skill set might be?
Sure. Yeah, I can.
Maybe be able to see their applications.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay, I can send that to you.
It's also available on the town council's.
It is
agenda
on
meeting
the
last night online.
website,
If you go to
yeah.
the council webpage, you can go to the agenda. It has their information as
Their
well.
applications?
Yep, every bit.
Mhm.
Who they are, where they live, what their backgrounds are.
Great.
I only know that because I looked yesterday.
Thank you. That is true.
Wow, because we spent
rolling
a long
off.
time there, and then apparently it wasn't enough. I guess
Rolling
I
off,
gotta
and I
go
still
look as
look.
well.
So yes, he's correct. So it is on the town's website under
Awesome, perfect.
agendas. Yeah, you can pull that up, and all the applications are under that tab.
And if you don't mind, you kind of talked about revising the nomination process. Do you have a deadline or when you're going to get us that new revised process, maybe so that we can be aware of what that might be?
I do not as of yet, but once I do, I will definitely let you guys know.
Ashley, I'm interested. How many applications were there for folks to be on this board?
4.
4.
And the youth 5. And the youth rep, right, Alan?
So 5, including Daryl, current.
Yeah.
Count Matt and Jeff did reapply, so that would be 6 and 7.
Yeah. 7, but 5 new. Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Or 4 new applicants with 1 youth. Any more questions?
I just found out where we can find.
Okay.
So that's probably easier than. I mean, if you still want to email them out, it's fine. But being able to go online is easier access. So.
I can definitely make it a little bit easier for you and email those to you. That's not a problem. I can do that to you tomorrow, the applicants. So that way it'll be a little bit easier for you to see. Anything else? Good? Okay.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll close my executive report and program report.
All right. Thank you, sir. And I don't have anything for chairman's report, but I would like to echo the sentiments of Craig for both Jeff and Tom. Thanks for your service here on this board. I'll call Matt and talk with him as well. So definitely thank you all for that. Beyond that, moving along, I was made aware that we do have some public comment tonight, which is exciting. Usually something we breeze by. So, thank you so much. Anthony Christopher. Boomer. Okay, all right. So yeah, we do have public comment tonight. We have 2 community members for public comment. So I'll call you as your name appears here on the public comment sign-in sheet, and you'll be able to come up to the podium, and you have 3 minutes to provide your public comment to the board. So first we have, looks like Anthony Christopher.
Good night, everyone.
Good evening.
The reason why I came here today is that I wanted to see,
Do you
Yeah.
mind stating your name and address, please? And
Yeah.
then we'll start the timer for you.
not a problem, Anthony Christopher, 16203 Fletcherstone Way, Apex, North Carolina. I prefer mailing my stuff to be mailed to my P.O. Box. P.O. Box 27107, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27611. You need my phone number as well? Okay. The reason why I came is that I wanted to bring to the board's attention that I think that it's time that we look seriously at the summer program, specifically the camp. It only takes 30 children annually, and the sign-up list is extensive, the waiting list is extensive. And I think with the expansion of Apex, there needs to be a serious look at expanding. And I even asked my youngest son, Malcolm, this morning as he came to camp, and we were lucky. Of the 8 weeks, we only got one of the slots. And I asked him, I said, Malcolm, and he's 10 years old, what is the best way to gauge how much space we need? And he said, look at the waiting list. So if a 10-year-old boy can know that, you should gauge the number of people or number of spaces that are available that should be in place for hopefully next year, and to have an open forum on it and see how it can be funded and to see how it can be expanded. Because what parents have to do is play tick for tack, going from Apex to Holly Springs to Fuqua Arena to Cary to see where children of school age can go for summer camp. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but that's what I'd like to be it to be put on an open forum and some discussion.
You wouldn't mind, what camp did he attend?
Excuse me?
What camp did your son attend?
The fun day.
The fun day?
Yes, the all day camp.
That's the Apex. That's the one.
Yeah. That's our
That's the one right.
All day
Yeah,
camp?
yeah.
That's the all-day camp here.
Yeah.
actually we take 35.
It's awesome.
And I think that if you look, for a growing town of Apex, 35 is a joke. And I think that I think I'd mentioned to someone in authority that I think it was Jason, that just look at one thing and one thing can guide you: the number of families and the demographics in terms of their age. The younger people that are moving here are going to have children, especially with people who already have children. There needs to be some venue for them to explore, because the first night before his camp, he was all excited he couldn't sleep.
Thank you for
When I picked him up,
Thank you so much. That's your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
I didn't realize that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Really
you,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, we will have Elizabeth Brunner, I'm sorry.
Hello, Elizabeth Brunner, 306 Hinton Street, which is near Bockham Elementary School. And that's relevant because I'm 20 minutes from here, from town council events, from the wonderful Hunter Street Park. My dogs are grateful for that. From the senior center, I went to my first official group today, and I can get to the Howell Cultural Center. So I'm really in a great location to take advantage of resources. I am shifting into retirement, so I have the luxury of time both to come here and make a suggestion in multiple town forums and to try to get lots of activities accessible. What happened to me 6 months ago is both because of financial constraints and some medical conditions that made it no longer safe for me to drive, I stopped repairing my old junker of a car. So now, like a growing number of residents in the town, I'm entirely bus dependent to get anywhere beyond where I, at age 62, chubby, not athletic, can personally walk. And that becomes a shrinking little circle in this kind of heat. So I have a suggestion. When I'm waiting for the 305 bus, which will get me to Raleigh on Mason Street, where I'm facing is where you park the 2 park recreation passenger buses. And when I come back from the bus, I always see them as well. So I'm hyper conscious of how those buses might be able to help bus-dependent people get beyond where the Route 1 of Apex currently takes us. I can get to places like Walmart, to Wake Med, to the laundromat. Where I cannot get are 2 places that I most desperately want to go. I so want to go to the pollinator garden at the Apex Nature Park. The bus will take me for free to Publix, but then it's a 2-mile walk both directions, and I don't think entirely with safe sidewalks to get to the nature park. I actually donated milkweed seed for that pollinator garden, and I really want to see it. So I'm suggesting that as staff capacity allows, that those passenger buses might take people like me, and that means seniors, disabled, medically impaired, low income, tends to be more minorities, ethnic and racial minorities, who are bus-dependent people. Those shuttles could help us get to the Apex Nature Park. A related issue is I hope you'll do what the town of Cary does, which is to recruit for festivals and special events and recreation activities with posters on the bus. I think that will enhance your attempts to be inclusive and encourage, sort of the non-traditional residents to participate a bit more. The second place I most desperately want to go is the Eva Perry Library. The bus does not go there. In 3 years, there's going to be a new bus that should go parks to library. That will radically improve my life. For now, for me, the library is a 4-mile round-trip loop, which I made in winter and spring in cool weather. It was tolerable with a roller cart full of books. Oh, but now, please shuttle me to that library.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ms. Brunner, don't sell yourself short. You were here at council last night, so you walked in the heat last night to council, and you walked in the heat tonight. So don't sell yourself short. You're going to make the 4-mile loop soon. I mean, even if the bus is running, you'll be able to do it. So
no one has ever publicly called me an athletic superstar, so thank you.
hey,
In my head, that just became a much bigger
you can quote me on that one. You can do it.
Again, thank you to both our community members for your public comment. And this board will take that information back. And thank you again. Thank you again. I won't make any promises, but thank you again. Moving along our agenda.
I just want to ask you a question. Have we, what is driving the capacity for summer camps right now?
So
Space or
capacity,
staff?
Space. We only have one community center, so it definitely restricts from a space perspective. Now, the Cultural Arts Center offers camps in the morning as well as the afternoon. They do have like a 1-hour break, maybe a 2-hour break.
It's not a full day.
It's not full day.
Yeah.
So obviously, with what she presented tonight with Wimberley
Road,
70,000 square foot community center potential, right? And then you've got Viridia coming. Those are all kind of down the road, of course. So we are looking at potentially the thoughts of a potential expansion of what we can offer at the community center. So we started working on that. I'm hoping to have some numbers in August for that. But it really is going to boil down to budgeting for, you got to have staff and you got to have space to do it. And so, I mean, currently we're running basketball camp, we've got a volleyball camp, and we have summer day camp. All 3 are in the community center. It's packed, and it's packed all day long in the community center. So, with saying that, we're trying to be flexible and look at different opportunities there. So for us, it's really about what it's going to boil down to is how flexible can we be with the space that we have? Can we get the funding to add additional staff?
Can we get more space?
And so the other piece of this you have to kind of take into account is for the community center, we also have traffic with seniors in and out of community center as well, walking traffic and different things like that, pickleball that would be affected too. So for us, summer camp is a little different from the perspective of staffing too, because you've got college kids. Right. And a lot of our counselors are college kids that take off. Because we're also looking at track out camps, because we do have some track out camps that are on waiting lists, but we have others that don't even hit the wait list. So we have to kind of measure those things out and see where we are. But Megan and Elizabeth are working through that now. So hopefully in August, we'll be able to put some numbers together.
And just as a follow-up, I would say that I think I'm correcting this, Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there are 5 weeks this summer where senior pickleball hours are down to 1 day a week, if that, because there's so much demand for space and community center to be able to accommodate the needs of, kids and other groups. So.
But we are looking,
demand,
and we're trying to see what we can do to accommodate what we can, and then the parameters of that from a budgeting perspective. So, because we only have 2 buses, as she mentioned, as well. So you're also, once you increase those, and they only hold 15 people, so, or 14. Sorry, messed up. 14 people. So you really would have to take trips on separate days, and the seniors use the buses sometimes for trips as well. So scheduling all of that out logistically, we'll have to figure that out if we do increase 2. So
My first 3 thoughts I wrote down was availability of space, funding, and staffing, right? So we had similar issues when I was back in Danville. So, and those are the top 3.
And we can expand the thought on space, right? So it's not just the summer camps. I mean, we can talk about basketball. We can talk about volleyball. We have waiting lists for volleyball. We have waiting lists for basketball because we only have 1 community center. We got 2 gyms, but we only have 1 community center.
Oh, the soccer, youth soccer, it's outdoor programs too. I know we go to a waiting list.
Yep.
So yeah, it's.
And so the other piece of that, you say 70,000 square feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a community center. It's a very large community center,
Right.
but we need it. Like we need the space, and that's kind of the point of us putting that in the request for at least moving down the road and having that capability in the future.
and I think
to,
Needmore Hilltop is 70 or 80,000
It is,
square feet.
yeah.
So
It is.
that's a comparable facility, and that's how Peak Wave Arena is responding in part to the
That's
same
right.
kind of population growth we're seeing.
Definitely problems of a rapidly growing municipality, right?
and I do feel like we are definitely behind with indoor space. I think we've addressed a lot of our outdoor like athletic field space, but we are tremendously behind when it comes to indoor space for programming.
Definitely.
And I'll offer this because this is another budgeting thing, and it all depends on what like the YMCA does. I haven't had these conversations with any of the schools either. Do you potentially offer some at a school? It's very costly to do that when you're renting from Wake County Public Schools. Yeah. Because you're paying a mint for going through and using their classrooms, and they have to be traditional schools. If you're going to do it for summer camp, you can do it for track out camps, obviously. So you're
can't
praying
do it for the couple weeks before, like just immediately following and immediately
Right.
starting because the teachers are there.
teachers are still there, closing the school out. We haven't had those conversations, but I have mentioned to them about getting pricing for what that would take too.
Yeah, right. And which ones are available because the YMCA is already functioning on some of them. Yeah.
And then if we do that, then you're talking about potentially additional vehicles and even more staffing to accommodate that too.
Right.
So.
Which
Well, does the cost of, if that was a priority just to expand capacity, is the cost reflected in how much the cost of the programs are too?
and again, but that does add to the fact that that's a need because of a rapidly growing place. So those are all, I think, significant concerns, right? That because we're increasing in population so fast that,
Right at 85,000
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. So all valid concerns from public comment. So we appreciate that. Other thoughts? Next on the agenda, any old business? All right, I do see one item here under new business, and that's the meeting calendar adoption for the fiscal year 2025, 2026.
All right, that's me again. So I'm going to just quickly go over the next fiscal year 25-26 meeting calendar for you guys. So you can go ahead and put this on your schedule and calendars. So for the rest of 2025, you'll see July. There is no meetings in July, due to vacations and all that. And, previously there was concerns with quorums with boards. So I think we decided as a board that we can cancel July meetings. So we have the rest of the year when November and December months, like normal, are lumped together since the holidays are so close together with the end of the month end of the month for November. So again, that is tacked on together, those 2 months. Going to year 2026, pretty self-explanatory. Meetings are the last Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Like I said, November and December meetings of 2025 have been combined due to the holidays. Parks and Rec Advisory Board meetings agendas are always on the town's website prior to each meeting. Meetings are always live streamed. If you cannot attend, please email the staff liaison and town clerk. We do now track attendance, so that is important as well. So if if you do not have any questions, we'll take a motion.
Do I have a motion for the adoption of the 2025-2026 fiscal year calendar, meeting calendar?
Second.
Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Right. All we need now.
Before we get to that, just two seconds. It's been a joy working with all you guys for all these years, however long everybody's been on. Tom, 14 years, and Craig for a while now. So I just appreciate the time and dealing with me when I ask all my questions at the board meeting. I can say that all your board meetings will be much shorter for the foreseeable future. So I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you guys at festivals in downtown and stuff like that. And you guys, I was gonna say, you guys may actually see me here because I may still come if I have projects that are questionable. Just now that I can actually answer your questions versus right, I don't have to recuse. I can sit there and I can answer questions. So
I want to add on to that. Yes, it's been an honor and a pleasure being part of this crew. Thank you for the kind words earlier, Craig, and I believe the same about you and your team, Angela, especially. You were in the chair, well, I think when we started here, so it's been a good run, and we've done tremendous stuff, and what a list of stuff you got coming up, which is awesome. The best part about this board is it's about playing and having a good time, so enjoy it. And I'm not going far, culture and arts, so still be connecting with you in some capacity there as well.
And I have two more quick things. One is my wife is here. I want to thank her for putting up with me coming to this 10 to 12 times a year for the last 16 years, and both my kids never saw me on Wednesday nights at the end of the month. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, Tom and I talk tradition. I'd like to make the motion to adjourn my last meeting.
And I second that motion.
Yes, it's been motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.